Guys, going to spend 5 minutes here just kind of making a reaction video to a lot of the talk about Ryan Day. And I'm going to address flat out on this video, should Ryan Day be fired from Ohio State? And a lot of times, like, my opinion can be in the mainstream opinion, but this opinion is not going to be, and that is what is exciting to me sometimes, is being that sort of outlier, okay, opinion. That is what is exciting as somebody who does YouTube and as somebody that is, somebody who, wants to talk football, talk sports, okay? So Ryan Day as a head coach, I mean, there's reports, should Ryan Day be fired from Ohio State? Should Ryan Day be fired? And the reasons are because he's 0-4 against Michigan, which I respect the rivalry, okay? It's a great rivalry. But he is 0-4 against the Michigan Wolverines, all right? And this year he should have won. I mean, he has Jeremiah Smith, one of the best weapons. He has Azbuka, who is a very good wide receiver. Quinshon Judkins wasn't even, I don't think, even utilized to his full potential this year. Okay. But Ryan Day, I mean, the recruiting that they've done, the reason why they didn't win that football game, and again, I'm going to tell you why I think Ryan Day is absolutely the right guy for Ohio State. Yes, he inherited Urban Meyer and the success of Ohio State in the recruiting. The guy is still 66-10. He basically still won the Sugar Bowl against Trevor Lawrence, lost the national championship. I know that it had to deal with the COVID pandemic year, so I totally get why there's an asterisk there, because some programs weren't even playing full seasons. Like, that season was an absolute just It was so inconsistent. It's hard to judge because some conferences didn't even play any ball that year. But beating Trevor Lawrence in the Sugar Dome was probably his biggest win. Losing the Fiesta Bowl in 2019 with Chase Young, like, that part sucks. Okay, then he's lost a couple of bowl games for sure. All right, but really, like, the offensive staff hires of Brian Hartline have been great. The quarterback play of Justin Fields, C.J. Stroud, Garrett Wilson, Smith and Jigba. I mean, there's been so much talent that's come out of Ohio State, and you got to give Ryan Day credit for at least recruiting these guys, because you still, even though you have the money, you still have to go out and recruit, and he's 66-10 as a head coach, okay, at Ohio State. Like, you're winning 10 or 11 games every year if you're Ohio State. You're owning Penn State every single year. And now with the playoff being so much easier to get into, like, Ryan Day still has really good offense. In that game against Georgia, like, he schemed the ever-living you-know-what out of Kirby Smart. Okay? They put up like 40 points on a national championship club, all right? And that was a great football game. And they were up 13 late in the fourth quarter, and then Stetson Bennett just became the Stetson Bennett that's an immortal, great, maybe top 15 college quarterback of all time. Stetson Bennett led those two drives, just got beat by an all-time great quarterback and an all-time great coach in Kirby Smart. That was an absolute war. Should he have gotten closer on the field goal? Yes. A lot of times Ryan Day has gotten a little bit tight in big moments, so he absolutely hasn't been perfect. He needs to, again, focus on airing the ball out. I know that C.J. Stroud and that team got beaten in the trenches by Aiden Hutchinson, but honestly, they need to rely on being this finesse team. They need to rely on throwing the ball to the perimeter. Ryan Day's trying to become tough, and he got Jim Knowles, and that defense is good. But you can rely on quarterback play. You could be softer in moments and throw the ball out and be more finesse and worry about, Will Howard, who's a good college quarterback, throwing the ball out there to Jeremiah Smith, to the tight ends, to Azbuka, to your weapons. But guess what, guys? Like, Will Howard and Kyle McCord are decent, are good college quarterbacks. I think Kyle is even playing at a higher level than Will. But really, the one guy that can like, you look at DJ Lagway, like, it's as simple as Ryan Day right now. There's three. The one guy who's going to get Ohio State from being like a very good program to the guy that can win him national championships is Tavion St. Clair. It's not Julian Sayin. It's not Aaron Nolan. Tavion St. Clair is taller. He's better than all those guys. Like, you need a top-level quarterback, and Ryan Day, in these moments, he's capable of it because I've seen it with C.J. Stroud. He needs to go back to worrying about throwing the football. He needs to worry about passing concepts instead of just running the ball all the time, okay? It's becoming too predictable. He tried to make a statement against Michigan that he's tougher, but he ran it right into their D tackles, which is the only place he can't do it. So, of course, like, I'm not going to say that he coached great against him. No one's going to say that that performance wasn't utterly embarrassing, okay? But you have to look at the totality of Day's tenure at Ohio State. You have to look at the totality of Day's tenure at Ohio State. And then, fine, if you want to get rid of Ryan Day, is Glenn Schumann going to be, the coach that is going to be a lot better than 66-10? I mean, like, throw out names then if you really want to fire Ryan Day. I think Ryan Day could even be a really decent NFL coach because he has very good scheme. He knows about scheme. He organizes very well. He's an awesome CEO. The recruiting classes are phenomenal every single year. People are just going to point to money and resources. But, like, I'll tell you, like, Brian Kelly has resources. Lane Kiffin has an amazing amount of resources. Mike Norvell has tons of resources. Like, it didn't work out. Jimbo Fisher had all of the resources in the world in College Station, and that thing was a colossal failure. Clay Helton had resources at USC. How's Mario Cristobal doing? Like, I think losing to Syracuse, and I think that losing to Georgia Tech, I think that Miami's performance is more unacceptable than what Ryan Day put on the field. I still think Ryan Day, they went out there to Oregon. They were one possession from winning that game. They went to Penn State on the road and did work at Penn State. They killed an Indiana team that is right in the playoff, but Ryan Day just can't win unless he beats Michigan. Like, he can get an A+ in every category, and it comes down to Michigan. And listen, I get it. And I actually love how serious that game is, okay? I love the rivalry. I love the nastiness. I love that it means so much. That's part of why I wanted the playoff to maybe be 8 teams, because I wanted that game to penalize Ohio State and kick them out of the damn playoff. It's weird that I even have to see Ohio State again, okay? It's weird. It doesn't make sense. You lost 2 games. You should leave. All right, and not be rewarded with a college football playoff berth. Anyway, no way would I fire Ryan Day. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think it's crazy. I think everybody right now is just saying he'll never do it. He'll never do it. They're just trying to maybe get clicks out of it. He'll never beat Ohio State. He'll never beat Ohio State. It was the same with Jim Harbaugh. Okay, Jim Harbaugh during that pandemic year, it was terrible at Michigan. Terrible quarterback play. They needed to be patient. And then finally, it paid off for him big, all right? And for Ryan Day, like, Ryan Day changes all the time. He changed defensive coordinators, all right, which wasn't easy to do. And offensively, it's a little bit different. Yeah, he has a talented roster, but it doesn't mean that you're going to win the Natty over Texas, over Oregon, and over all these teams, okay? So, yeah, against Michigan, it wasn't good. It's always championship or bust, and he signs up for that. But every year is 10 or 11 wins. Every year you're in the mix. Every year you're playing meaningful ball. Every year he's had to fundraise. He's part of why they're great at recruiting too. That $20 million is part of Ryan Day. It's part of his recruitment of Chip Kelly. So people just want to blame him for everything and then not give him credit when he is bringing in these awesome classes. And just because you have resources, again, doesn't mean that you're going to instill anybody and succeed. You really think Chip is going to end up winning the Natties there? I even think Ryan Day has a better chance of winning a chip than literally Chip Kelly. I do. So maybe I'm out on the island there, but again, that's sometimes a fun place to be, is having an opinion, right? I think that the fire thing is just an overreaction, total overreaction that's out there right now.